came out yesterday, and he's done this several times. He'll come out and he will blame the oil companies. He'll blame the small business owners.
Yeah.
He'll blame everybody talking about price gouging, on and on and on. And never once says, hey, everybody, you know, this can all be tracked back to when I shut down the pipeline.
Yeah. It does not.
Day one.
Didn't even consider that.
And then
how do you not?
He has gone over to Saudi Arabia. And by the way, do you remember when Trump went to Saudi Arabia? Do you remember the welcome he got?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like, you know, the guards? It was incredible. It was
absolutely insane. The how Trump got when he showed up there, and it was like the whole country came out in droves for him out of respect. I mean, he had like the whole guard, everything, the military out there. It was a beautiful ceremony.
Yeah.
And then Biden, like, hey, right that way. Just open up that door and just walk through.
Yeah, go make a left. He's just doddering around. Who cares?
My God,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
How the difference is. But also, he went over there and begged them to, because Saudi Arabia embarrassed him recently because of what he did. He went over and said, "Hey, we need more oil." And then went out there and says, you know, natural oils and fossil fuels are going to be banned, and F these people, and the Saudis are savages, and
it's unbelievable.
So then the Saudis said, well, F you, we're not going to do that. Like, we control OPEC, you dick.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of like the 500,000 he wanted a day, they dropped it down to 100,000.
Right.
I mean, and that was a big FU to him personally. And then they came out and released the fact like that he wanted them to basically carry him until right after the midterms.
Yeah.
Don't release anything. Help us with the oil prices just until the midterms. And then when the midterms are over, we don't care what you do.
Right.
Raise prices, F our country. We don't give it F.
I think the whole thing is crazy. How they're doing the whole energy thing and really kind of playing with our lives with the energy
and food.
And making it all virtually extinct.
Think about
energy to food.
What right now we're faced with, and we have a government that doesn't care. Like they're not. See, this is the problem, and this is where you get in trouble for saying it, but who cares? This is the problem with identity politics. Okay, you put people that just because they might be a certain ethnicity or sexuality or whatever, they check a few boxes other people don't. If you give somebody like that the job, that's great to give them the opportunity to get the job. And if they're smart enough to beat everybody in the room with no bias, then yes,
it's great.
But you don't just give somebody because they fit, you know, like me. You can't walk in and say, well, I need an Irish guy with blue eyes. And okay, Brian, you get the job. You're a surgeon now.
Right. And I think that's the best kind of example of that, because if you needed surgery for some reason, your life is on the line, and you knew the surgeon that's going to operate on you just got the job because he fit a description rather than getting the job because he earned it.
And that's what's going on. Though.
Wow. What would you rather?
But think about it. Now, you look at Joe Biden, right? And he's an old white guy. That's how they're going to do it. Old white guy, boy power, whatever, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's a doddering idiot. You take Kamala Harris, you know, who, you know, tried to run under the African-American flag for a while. And then you realize she's Jamaican.
Yeah.
Her dad I think it was her dad, right?
Yeah.
It was Jamaican.
I think it was her father.
Yeah. But other than that, other than the identity part of it, she's a moron. She's a hypocrite and an idiot. She's not good at public speaking. She's not good at policy. She was made the borders are. She's done nothing. Everybody likes to say, oh, everybody puts her down because she's black. Has nothing to do with her skin color. She's an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, listen to her speak. Half the stuff that you have seen, by the way, and it's proven, were lies. Like when she was surrounded by the kids that were so flabbergasted about space and you can go there.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
You found out
that
she hired actors. They hired to try to make her look more human.
Yeah.
Because she's a blithering idiot. She laughs when she's uncomfortable. She's not prepared for any press conference.
This whole administration's like,
but of course, once again, Nancy Pelosi, strong woman. No, she's not.
Not at all.
Tell me what she's done that benefits anything but her party or herself. Like this is
all
silly.
of them. All of them. It's crazy. I mean, even Biden, when he was campaigning, he had a fake TV set.
Yeah.
You know, even after he's in the White House, another fake TV set. Yep. You know, he's in hiding all the time. He has to sleep by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
You know, now if you watch the other news, that's not what they portray. And here's I'm tired of this out that we give everybody. Well, it's because they watch that other news, because they're going to say the same thing about you. You know what I mean? The problem is, if you can see both sides of it, I always say, like, I used to love C-SPAN when I was a kid, as weird as that is, because it wasn't all cut up for you. You know what I mean? It wasn't in like 10-second snippets. It was, if you wanted to watch the speech, you could watch the entire speech if that interests you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so, but, you know, I'd watch the news and go, well, wait a minute. That was actually like a 4-minute thing that he did. I just heard 15 seconds, and that really just kind of put it in a different light. That's not what he was getting at.
Yeah, I mean, how can you possibly wrap up something that big in such a short segment?
Well, you have to trust the news agencies, and that's the other problem. Like MSNBC, by the way, and I've said this for a while, is one of the most racist channels on the planet. Tucker Carlson did something the other day saying the same thing. There's a guy, I keep forgetting his name. I forget. He had this special during the pandemic, and it was like the divided states of America and stuff like that. And he's an African American guy with a big afro. I forget his name.
Oh, I know. I think is he a professor somewhere?
Yeah, he's just a racist.
Yeah, he is.
He's just a horrible racist.
He had a fight on the air one time. It wasn't with Leo Terrell. I think it was with somebody else. But more of a conservative leading guy, and just had a brawl on the air. Just that guy's such an ass.
Yeah, because he's
such an ass.
Everything is about race today. Yeah, everything. And everything is because of race. You know what I mean? And when you see, but here's the problem with people like that. He's like Al Sharpton and whatever. When you build your career on that, or you even take like an Alex Jones. Like an Alex Jones built his career on being a conspiracy guy. Well, what else could he do now? Is just be a conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
You know, Reverend Al, everything was racism. You know, so I mean, literally, if you look at the man's career, every single, and he'll act like that. I was fighting against it. No, you weren't. You were an opportunist.
He was not. Yeah, he was.
You know, and each time
in front of the camera all the time. Still is.
But how many times were you proven to be wrong? Like, you know, like when you took like the jogger, the New York jogger,
the Tawana Brawley one.
Yeah, well, Tawana Brawley too. Tawana Brawley thing, that was horrible. Actually, that was one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, Tawana Brawley was horrible.
And that's still kind of it. Even when you see him, like you were from that area, you know, so you kind of saw that stuff more than I did at that time.
Yeah.
But the Tawana Brawley thing, even I've heard about.
Yeah,
I heard about it. I mean, that was a big story.
I think one of the cops killed himself.
Still kind of is a big story.
It should have been.
It pops up every once in a while. You hear her name in the news.
Dude, she celebrated. She was on like Celebrity Fit Club a few years ago.
And it was just all a lie. The whole thing was a lie.
It was because she was a crackhead and she went out and she was sleeping with a whole bunch of guys. She didn't want her mother to get mad at her. So she came up with this thing. She didn't think her mom was going to call the cops. She thought that just saying that like she was beaten and raped,
right?
You know, and had dog excrement like, you know, spread all over her. Like it was just it was a crackheady thing to do, you know. But then Al Sharpton got it. Of course, didn't check any facts, just ran with it.
Right.
Went on TV and just started accusing these cops. It wrecked their lives.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
just disgusting.
He's done that multiple times. Then you even have that. I think it was that rugby team. New Jersey, the Rutgers, whatever it was.
Or is he that at BYU?
I thought it was Rutgers. I'm not sure.
It could have been Rutgers. I think you might be right. Okay.
You know, but it was just one of those things where everybody gets accused and like of doing these horrible things. It wrecks their lives. Al Sharpton's yelling and screaming, and then all of a sudden they find out that it was a lie, and then Al Sharpton don't come out and yell and scream, "Hey, sorry, everybody." No.
You're right. I forgot about the lacrosse team. That was just ridiculous. It ruined those kids' lives.
Of course it did.
You know,
I mean, people had scholarships
seeing them in the
pulled
stand, the young kids in the stand, and you could tell they were like, "Wait, you know."
They had scholarships pulled. They got kicked out of school. They got threatened.
Lives are ruined.
That lives are wrecked. And then some people, once again, here's the problem with, you know, liberals. They're half educated.
Yeah,
they're educated, and then always say, "Oh, we have, you know, more certificates." Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
You're more, you know, you have more useless things you can put on your wall. But as far as street smarts are, you know, just common sense goes.
It's stupid.
You know,
and plus now the whole thing with what you're getting taught anyway, to get that certificate, to get that degree, it's all crap. You know, you're getting judged everything you do.
I think a great example was one of I think it was my son said something like, "Well, you got to go into this in the college." He's like, you know, knowing what you know, and just putting a shield up because you're getting barraged with this liberal bullshit.
Yeah, that's what my son said too.
Yeah, he goes everywhere you look, it's like, you know, it's this liberal nonsense, you know, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Right. In order to get that degree, you got to play the game.
Or you're the troublemaker.
Yeah, you got to play the game to get it, and that's it. And how ridiculous is that? You know, and every teacher, every professor is pretty much doing the same thing.
Well, that's because they were taught an agenda. They were brainwashed. So they're just brainwashing the next generation. I'll tell you, if you look at this country, how do you say this?
Generalizations?
No.
Okay.
Generationally.
Oh,
there you go. Whew, close to that one, but that's why I think it threw me off, John.
Well, that's what you started to say.
And I'm not going to say it again. But
Don't
that
bother.
word.
Which one?
The one I just said.
Generationally.
Yeah, if you say it like that.
Okay. How'd I say it?
We've gotten weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
Like just over the last 3 or 4.
Well, because you can't have any losers anymore.
Yeah,
everybody wins.
Exactly. But I'm saying if you look at like our grandparents, okay, like I don't know about yours, but my grandfather was very tough, went through a hard time, and just didn't bitch. They were happy to be in the country.
Sure.
They did what they had to do.
Yeah.
They were just tough guys. They just were. Then you have like your parents. They're still tough, but they were kind of lenient with you every once in a while. Yeah, whatever. Then you had us. And then the way we raised our kids, and now our kids are raising kids that I mean, God Almighty,
boy, I don't know. It got
who
really
don't
soft.
even know if they're boys or girls.
It got soft quick, and yeah, you're right.
You can't have GI Joe dolls.
I think a lot of it's our generation that really, really slid off because we started becoming way too weak, and that was when everybody had to win a medal for something, because just participating, and that's probably the root of all this evil.
You're right. Because it takes away competition, it takes away toughness. Well,
you learn a lot by that.
They've made masculinity. They call it toxic. Toxic masculinity. Here's the thing.
Stupid.
Here's the thing. There's like these things that go around the internet, and there's one of them that says something like weak men are not a good thing. What a good thing is a very dangerous man who has it under control.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want. You don't want weak people. You know what I mean? And what we've raised, unfortunately, are people that words make them cry and need to pet dogs.
Yeah.
And get a slice of pizza for no reason.
I mean, if you ever thought, like our grandparents' generation, you ever told them, we're going to have safe zones.
Oh, please.
We're going to raise kids and make sure they have safe zones. So when they go someplace, if they're just having a little stressful day, they can go in this little zone with some dogs and pet some puppies and stuff.
And all the bad people aren't allowed to go in that zone because it's a safe zone.
You can't make fun of them for sitting in a corner rubbing a teddy bear at 20 years old.
Just
in college.
Well, kind of like I told you, like where I was working, there was this guy that was older than me. He was very tall. He was probably about 6'5" or so. He had shoulder-length blonde hair that he wore in pigtails and dyed pink.
Really?
You know what I mean? And then every once in a while, when it got busy, he would leave the counter and he would go color. He would have to go calm himself down.
I don't know how the bosses could let that happen.
They're the ones that encouraged it. That's what I'm saying. Like when I was just there recently, and they're like, "When are you coming back?" I'm like, "You'd still have me?"
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, dummies. I thought I quit here a long time ago.
I thought, really. Remember when I said,
remember when I just didn't show up?
Yeah. Remember when I said,
that was me.
I'm not paying $25 a day to park anymore.
Yeah.
F this. This stinks.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so they would let somebody just go in there and color.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, it would be busy as hell. And like you would walk in and like a child, he's laying on his stomach on the floor coloring. And you have to step over them.
That's crazy. It's so hard to fire people these days. You can't fire them. You almost have to force them out. You have to force them to leave.
Well,
make it uncomfortable that they just don't like it anymore.
You see, but that's the problem is that culture, the corporate culture now is too much of embracing that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so now that it's working against them.
Yes, because I mean, like even at the place I was just at, like, dude, they made everything look like a lounge because it's less stressful.
Oh,
look, man,
that romantic.
This is
sweet,
ridiculous. Like this is the dumbest. Everything has to be right because you don't want to stress you out, man.
Yeah,
like
I'm all about like employers doing really good things for their employees.
Yeah, treating people right.
Treating them good, whether not just the pay, but just the little extras here and there. I think that's cool when they do that. It makes it like a fun environment. You get the employees happy and stuff. But the coddling is ridiculous.
Way too much coddling.
You don't have it's more. I'd prefer more of a tough love. A tough love. Hey, you work for what you get. You work hard, you get rewarded for it. If you don't work hard, that's on you.
At the place I work, you could not show up and not call in 4 times before you were fired.
Wow.
That was the policy. It happened so much it was policy.
It's insane that there's a policy for that. So you knew as an employee, well,
I got it 4 times.
I got sick days, I got PTO days, and I got 4 go F yourself days. I'm taking a go F yourself day today, boss.
Actually, you only get 3. The 4th one, they fire you.
All right, so you get 3 go F yourself days.
Exactly.
That's pretty damn good.
And the fact that people would do that because you've told them now, especially potheads, you've told them now you don't have to show up.
Yeah.
Like it's so they don't.
Wow.
But like,
do they re-up every year? Those 4? Yeah, they're like, hey, you did good this year. You get an extra 3.
Because they can't say anything negative about anybody. Right. Like when you're being critiqued, right? Like I was critiqued, and I'm thinking, this is the dumb. First, I don't care what you say. You're 25 years old,
right?
But as I'm listening to it, everything is said so carefully in a positive way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, so do you ever give a bad critique? I know that this guy stinks and that guy colors. Like, what did you say to the colorer? Yeah. Did you say, like, can you stop doing that? You're a grown man.
I could not sit in a room and have a boss talk to me like that.
No,
I just could not do it because, like, what are you doing? Just speak to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, there's no way you talk to people like that on a regular basis. You just don't. You can't. You got to be human.
They don't even give you a number during the evaluation because they don't want you to reduce yourself to a number.
Oh,
you're not a number. You're a person.
Yeah, so we go by colors here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Brian, you got a green. And a smiley face.
Oh.
As long as I didn't get the straight mouth one, that's a bad one. But if you get the smiley face, you did good.
That's just so bizarre. Yeah, but also the good part is that we're smart enough that we can actually use that to our advantage now.
Oh yeah. Well,
so now you take it like, oh, wait a minute, I'm off the clock at 2:00, and then look at that long line right there. I gotta leave. Sorry,
I don't do that. That was the problem. Yeah. I would actually stay late. And then you see,
you got to use the millennial attitude.
You know what pissed me off actually, and this is kind of why I kind of stopped going in. I was supposed to be off at 7:00, right? And they close at 9. But at 7, for some reason, that's when it gets really busy, and they only have 2 people on. So I'm thinking I can't leave. That would be crappy to do to the person I'm working with.
I think so too. That's what I would just feel so terrible for that.
Yeah, so I mean, I would just stay.
Yeah,
and they would say, you could just go. And I'd say, well, not really, because I mean, it hurts the client, the customers, but also the
my coworker.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not cool. I wouldn't want somebody to leave me, which they did plenty of times. By the way,
that's exactly how I think. I said, well, damn, if I'm getting stuck like this, I'd hope somebody would. I
had this girl that I used to cover, like to stay and cover with all the time, and one time I needed her to stay, and she said, well, I'm out at 7. I ain't staying. Like, F this place. That was right. F this place. I'm like, well, what about me?
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, but that's kind of, but what happened was on one of my last days, they actually said, hey, and look, everybody, if you're supposed to leave at 7, leave at 7. Right? Like they were all pissy about it.
Really?
And then as they're walking around, anybody want to stay? F you.
Yeah.
You just kind of busted my balls 10 seconds ago. You're only talking to me.
See you later, bub.
I'm the only guy that stayed. And I would always say to the manager, do you want me to stay?
Yeah, that's because that's the mentality that I think we both have had forever. You don't, we used to make fun of a guy that we used to work with.
Oh, yeah.
He was the only one. He was our age.
Yeah, clock puncher.
And the only one who was a clock puncher. Yeah. We used to make fun of him. Like, wow, there we go. Whatever time it was. I forget what time of day it was. But he would make sure he was in work at that time. And he would leave
7:58.
And he would leave. If it was 4 o'clock.
2:58.
Or 3 o'clock.
You went
2:58. It was amazing that it doesn't matter how busy we were, what kind of project. I remember Christmas Eve was that big one.
Yeah. And he got mad. Yeah.
We were doing this massive project that took us forever, and it was the most ridiculous thing. We were doing the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we were editing all that together. We had all the voices, the pieces, but it was just a ridiculous undertaking because we had to have people come in and record their parts at a certain time. It was just that part alone was just frustrating to coordinate. So we figured it all out, got it all done, and had to get on there. For whatever time we were airing it, and it was just a mad dash. And this clock puncher a-hole, we were knee deep in it, and you and I were just let's go, let's get this.
Yeah, so we got 6 hours. Hurry up.
Yeah, so we're pushing it to get this finished. But that asshole, as soon as 2:00 in the afternoon, whatever time, he goes, well, guys, gotta go. Bye. Click. Gone.
Merry Christmas.
And out.
Yep.
And it just,
because I aired, I think at 8, and we were working on it till about 7 something.
Yeah, it was right up to
because they literally came up with this like 30 hours before they wanted
that was the other thing. It was right. It was right away. We needed it quickly.
Yeah, and it was that when Howie Carr was around because we had him recording and all these other people. So it was just a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
and I'll never forget being there on Christmas Eve, thinking to myself because I kept thinking, well, at least I'll get 2 hours of shopping done.
Yeah, that's what we were both thinking. That. Well, we were thinking, all right, I think Walgreens is open and Walmart. Great. And then, I hope everybody that we're close to likes this shopping.
Well, that was when we thought we were getting out at 5.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at the clock and it's like 7:15, I was like, well, Exxon's open.
Yeah, I know. There was a few 7-Elevens, I believe.
Yeah.
They got flowers too.
She does have a cough. So she'll enjoy these cough drops.
And she does I'll get some of the Z-Quil stuff. It's expensive.
And something, since it is the holidays, I'm going to get everybody one king-size candy bar.
And they'll be the name brand. They're not going to be the 7-Eleven brand.
No more Brock's candy for you.
Right. You get the Snickers. Got it.
Yeah, no more Necco wafers for anybody.
Yeah, just crazy.
Today you actually get a flavor.
But that idiot left.
Yeah.
He left. I mean, it didn't matter. It was like, see you guys. And then literally on whatever, Monday, the next business day that we worked, he was like, so How'd that end up coming out, guys?
He didn't even listen to it.
No, how'd it end up coming out? You mother effer.
Yeah, that guy was.
But yeah, we call him the clock puncher because that's what he all did, and that's what this generation now does.
Oh my God, yeah.
With everything. I mean, oh no, I have 18 sick days to use this year. I'm using all of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
that's a weird way to think because I'm thinking, oh, cool, 18 sick days, God forbid, or whatever. That's 18. Whatever amount you have, God forbid something happens. That's cool. Great. If I am sick, awesome.
Yeah, but if I'm not going to use them.
Because I think that's just bad bad juju.
Well, no, but that's
just kind of
but they're called sick days, and that's why we were brought up. You only use them. They're kind of in the bullpen for you if you get sick.
Yeah.
But if you don't need them, you don't use them.
Yeah, because that's literally bad karma.
See, but companies started this use them or lose them thing, and that pissed people off.
Yeah.
Because in the olden days, they would pay you for them or even give you half.
That's right.
They might say, okay, you have 10 sick days. We'll give you a week's pay instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was nice. I was happy with that. I think most people were. But then they started that use them or lose them thing.
Yeah.
And I think everybody was like, well, wait a second.
But that's the thing that kills those companies when it's use them or lose them because they always do the mad dash toward the end of the year or the end of the time period they
December
have.
is or the busy time.
So they're like, all right, I'm off the rest of the year. What are you talking about? We have a whole month left. I know. But I didn't take any off this year, so go F yourself. I'm taking them all now. That's just crazy.
This was a very long time ago when I was a stockbroker, I never took off. And 1 year the guy said, oh, they're doing this, use them or lose them. I said, I'll lose them. I don't care. And he's like, Brian, don't be stupid. And I'm like, I was like, but dude, I didn't take any off. It's friggin' December 6th. I could literally take until January 15th off.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't do that. The boredom would set in.
When I was working at another place, that was the first time I ever had that stuff. I've never ever had any job that had vacation, sick
benefits,
days, anything. Never had that. So it was weird for those people to say, no, you better hurry up, use them or lose them.
Well, and once again, the kids that, God, I sound like an old man, but the kids today,
they don't know how good they are.
Like even today, if you go to like a fast food restaurant or whatever, the service sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody's a dirtbag. Everybody is kind of like, they don't want to be there and they're not shy about letting you know that.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the crappiest service you've ever had, but you better be happy I showed up.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's the new attitude we're supposed to be happy that you showed up to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost to the point where they think they should get paid for just actually going there for your pleasure.
Yeah. Like, something, I'm sorry that you're an IHOP waitress.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But really, you could take the cape off, honey. That whole hero thing was BS.
Yeah, it is weird.
Now, can you pick up that plate and bring it over here?
It's weird.
Genius.
A weird sense of entitlement. For this whole weird generation.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just worked with a bunch of dopes. And
you're right in the heart of it.
Yeah, that's tough, man, because they're all just so stupid. Like, and a lot of those kids that you're dealing with are college age, and they're dumb. Like they're just dumb. I never realized how dumb you were. But at that age, like you're very impressionable, and you're very just dumb.
I think the worst part is you have to play the game. Like right now, I work with a lot of clients who have very different views on life, world, everything the way it is today.
Yeah, everything's fine.
And holy crap. And to listen to some of them. And I even had one guy talk about, those right-wing nuts and talk about this and that. I'm like, the kooks over there on that side.
The right-wing nuts. I always find that
thinking,
mind-boggling.
What the heck?
You know what? You know why?
But I just have to But
Liz Warren rocks.
Yeah.
And so does AOC.
That's right.
Presley.
Thank God for Biden. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, without him,
boy,
we would have continued having a good economy.
Yeah, that's right. And boy, he's doing awesome with the gas prices.
Yeah, and food prices.
They're starting to drop like crazy.
And World War III.
Yeah,
and our National Reserve.
Yeah,
that is going to be even lowered by how many millions he's going to release again just to lower the gas prices before the election. You idiot.
Yeah, I got my F NORAD shirt.
I can't believe him. I heard this the other day. This drove me crazy. Do you remember when Trump said? And I think it was something ridiculous, like it was $70 a barrel back then. And he's like, I want to fill the reserves. This is a great price. And everybody gave him crap. Or I'm sorry, no, excuse me. I think it was in the 20s.
It was 24.
It was 24, and everybody gave him crap. Now,
a barrel.
Biden just recently said if it ever goes back down to 70, that's when we're going to start filling up.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer is the one who said no to Trump.
Yeah,
at $24.
That's too much.
Yeah, now it's at 85 right now.
Yeah,
so, and Biden said, well, we'll stop filling that baby once it gets way down to 70.
But do you understand that what OPEC just did? and everything else that's going on, it's not going to be going down there.
Right.
And because,
but even if it did, whoop the effing do.
Oh, I know.
70.
Well, John, that's only almost 180% more than
what I mean.
Trump would have got.
But all you'd have to do is just open up our pipelines again. Chit chat with Mexico, Canada. Hey,
how does he chit chat? He's a moron.
I know,
and he's
I
angry.
know,
Here's
I
the other
know.
problem I've noticed. Have you noticed that no matter what's going on, the man is angry?
Yeah,
he's just an angry old man.
No, I'm not.
I mean, and if you
read what I'm saying,
you know what? If you try to confront him,
oh yeah,
like that's the problem. If you ask him a question that he takes as confrontational, it's kind of like when that one guy. This was going back, I think, to 2020 before the election, or 2019, where that guy was like a construction guy. Kind of went up to him and talked to him, and Biden squares off with the guy, and he's like, "I don't work for you, pal."
Yeah,
and he's
weird. Why do you have to be so confrontational?
Because he's got dementia, and they get angry.
Was that when he called him a ponytailed pizza making taco eating son of a bee?
Yeah,
or something, whatever that was.
Something like what was something pony soldier.
Yeah, I forget what it was. Dog eating pony soldier. It was something stupid.
Something that Alfalfa from our gang probably said back in 1922.
Why I oughta. It's like, all right there, Joe. Settle down with the language.
He ended it with
he's like, seriously, it's bizarre, but that guy is, it's okay. He's leading the free world right now.
Just terrifying.
Nothing to be afraid of, right? Just a couple nukes.
And he's talking about nuclear war. Like that's, but he didn't just say nuclear war.
Armageddon.
I was about to say he didn't say nuclear war. He said nuclear Armageddon.
Well, that's better than nuclear war, because think about it. If we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'd rather just have it be over.
Go big or go home. I mean, what would you rather? Shortage, of everything and everything just getting diseased, or just saying, all right, see ya.
Yeah, I don't even notice mid-sentence. Poof, done.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Think of you living on earthworms. How'd that work?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'd starve.
Yeah, so might as well.
Starve. I know it. I
mean, I'll suck it up. Throw a little salt and pepper on there. Maybe it'll be all right.
Yeah, a little shrivel up too if you throw a little salt
some garlic on there too. Make it look like a little rice.
Yeah, there you go. See, now I won't eat rice. Thanks.
Well, look like
because every time I eat rice, I'll think, hey, what if one of those things is doing that? It just looks like rice.
You just chop it up so it's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could survive and do it, but I'm not sure if you could. I think you'd be more in favor of just a massive nuke to wipe out everything.
And all kidding aside, like we used to say stuff like this, like, kind of just goofing around.
Yeah.
Now you have Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden, two guys that run nuclear countries, saying, "Yep, we're going to have a nuclear holocaust. Plus, I guess we have bunkers, and there's a food shortage and an energy shortage. You guys are effed.
Yeah.
If you didn't prepare because you were goofing on everybody, calling them preppers and all that stuff.
Right.
But okay, let's go over the Ukraine, everybody.
Yeah. Good luck.
Then you mentioned this yesterday, but the thing with China, basically just saying
Taiwan.
Yeah, saying, look, we've had enough. We're we're taking that back.
Yeah, we hosey Taiwan. Taiwan's ours, but don't worry, we're gonna do it peacefully. But just in case we're not doing it peacefully, we're going to take it over any means necessary. So good night. Have a good one.
Yeah, we don't care what America or anybody else says. This is ours.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
And they literally gave it a date. We're gonna occupy it by this time, so you have enough time. Collect your things, your belongings.
What was the date?
I forget, but they did.
Was it close or did they?
Yeah,
give
I think
it's
like 2-3 weeks. Yeah,
I was hoping to give them a few years to pack up. And
no, I'm not sure what it was, but I'm pretty sure they gave them a date too.
Oh, that's great. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Or maybe it's a time period, but table. They get the hell out of there.
Well,
or just submit to the new government. I guess I don't know.
I would think at this point we should be sending a lot of U-Hauls over there if that's really the case.
Yeah,
are they really letting people leave?
I right now in the state of our country, I mean, if they do go over there and say Taiwan, you're ours, I'd say, well, good luck, Taiwan.
Hey, listen, if we were the old America, we would have helped you. Sorry, but we can't.
That's exactly it.
We can't go into this fight right now because we're going to lose.
Our pants are down, and if you sorry.
That seems to be a problem too. Is we are knowingly going to go into a war that we know we're going to lose.
Yeah, so it's like, why would we?
This nuclear thing, we should be stepping back and saying, hey, cooler heads better prevail here.
Yeah.
Instead of having this old demented guy yelling back, yes, it will be nuclear Armageddon.
Exactly. Yeah, so kind of crazy. All right.
Well, if we're alive, we'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's an uplifting into the show. All right, everybody, enjoy the day, and hopefully, we'll see you then. The nuclear Armageddon doesn't hit us first. All right. We'll see you then. See you tomorrow. We are Renegade Radio. Good night.